You also have your own blogosphere, your radio show, and you're about to start a new TV show.
Yeah, what happened was I had a radio show on an internet television network, which translated into a television show because that's where everything is.
Right.
And it's all internet based, everything is streaming. Everything is streaming. People are streaming Periscope, they're streaming walking down the street.
We're going to lose, going to the movie theaters because you can get everything on
Everything is on demand.
Yeah.
Everything is on demand. Look, when I directed A Tale of Two Cities in South Korea.
I saw.
It was wild. And I'm in a cab driving into Seoul, and half the navigation is navigation, and the other half was a live streaming game from the LA Dodgers because there's a South Korean baseball player who's a pitcher for the Dodgers.
Now, you would think that it would be something that would tell you all of the tourist attractions along the way.
But it wasn't me. The driver was driving, watching the navigation and watching the game. It wasn't very safe, but everybody is streaming. There's Wi-Fi in all of the subway systems there. They're literally watching television. There's antennas on the Samsung Galaxy. Samsung is big. It's a Korean product.
Right.
Everything streams. Everything. And, we talk about the whole, the Patti LuPone thing with the cell phones and all that kind of stuff. It's annoying. There are people in theaters with cell phones.
I have to say I was there that night with Patti LuPone, and where they made it out that she did this, broke the character. I didn't even know it had happened until the next day because it was such a part of the show.
Yeah.
And the way that she did it, it just made total sense that it would have been like something that the writer would have written in, knowing that she did that during Gypsy.
Yeah, of course.
So I hadn't a clue.
Well, she's amazing. She's a professional.
But I'm all for her. I mean, yes,
me too.
take that phone away.
Look, she's one of the people that can do that and not be chastised for it within a show. And the thing is, though, she is the grande dame. She's an icon.
Right.
But it's not going to change. The idea that media is not going, and my thought is we have to integrate it, find a way to integrate it, or we can educate as much as we want, but it's still going to happen.
The night I saw Phantom, my entire row was Asian, and they were all on their cell phones up until the last minute, as I am totally telling them off.
Yeah.
And the usher went around twice, and it fazed them not.
Yeah, and well, for us too, because we have such a worldwide audience.
Right.
We have an Asian audience, we have a big Japanese, Chinese, Korean. We have a big audience, big Brazilian audience, and a lot of times they don't speak English. So when the announcements are made, because there are translators, they have audio translators to do the show. They may not understand. But even English-speaking American audiences, they're filming the show.
Oh, absolutely.
And the point for me is that it's not, we have to integrate it somehow. So
I agree.
When the radio show translated to a television show, I then moved it to a friend's network. His name is Grant Cardone. He's a New York Times bestselling author, entrepreneur, amazing guy. And so it's called My GC TV, My Grant Cardone TV, and the show's called James Barbour Now. And what I do is I do behind the scenes, and it's not, hey, my next show is this, or my next gig is this, or, I had a friend of mine who's a former professional football player. It's about how you got to where you got. What did you do positively in your career and in your life to reach the goals that you've reached, to try to educate people, but also give people that may not know our industry, or may not know the behind the scenes of the sports world or the politicians that I've interviewed, actually what it takes to do that and sustain. And I love it. I'm glad, I'm happy you're doing it too. It's where it's going.
I would be asking you those questions, except that A, I know those answers.
You know them.
And B, there are some people that are just born with a gift that can sing anything, and you have that.
Oh, thanks.
Vocally, I think you're untouchable.
No, I appreciate that.
And I'm not saying that to, go, oh, nice, James, good, James. I'm saying it because there's such a thing as natural talent, and you either have it or you don't, and you can build up to that, but this also exists, and whether people want to make it so or not. So to ask you this would be like, okay, how did you get natural talent? Oh, I was born. Born.
And here's the thing too, though. There are so many people with talent. It's part of why I started producing, because there's so many people, but they can be the most amazing singer, but if they're not heard, no one's going to know they're there.
Right.
So you have to get known. You have to do something so that people will hear you. That's the other thing that streaming has done, and YouTube and Periscope and Meerkat, all these things. Twitter, getting known, getting out there. Because you could have the best product in the world. Let's say you have the best donut shop in the world.
Right.
But if you don't advertise or you don't do anything, no one's going to buy your donuts.
No, absolutely. And even with the paper, one of the things I do all the time is I Alexa myself and make sure that I'm seeing what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Are we going up? Are we going down? Am I giving them what they want?
Yeah. You
so
have to.
It's a big deal to me.
You have to, and you're doing it. And that's the thing, is that business-wise, because I'm as much as I'm an artist, I'm a business guy.
You've done so many amazing roles. Are there any composers or roles or even composers that you've worked with that you would like to do?
Well, look, everybody in their own right has amazing stuff, and here I am doing an iconic Andrew Lloyd Webber piece. Obviously Frank Wildhorn has developed shows or music around me. The show that I did last summer, which is at Eastwick, which is Dana Rowe, that show needs to get done. It's a Cameron McIntosh property. It's hilarious.
We reviewed it.
Oh, it's an unbelievable show. So I'm looking forward to that, whether I'm in it or not. I want to help get that piece going. But yeah, I mean, there's just a host of composers out there that I would love to work for or with.
See, if I were doing theater again, Michael John LaChiusa, I love his music.
Yeah.
Now Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton's amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my milieu. Could you see me, hip hop and rapping?
Yes, I could actually.
Good.
Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen Hamilton.
It's not what you think.
Really? I can't wait.
There's more music. It's more musical than you think.
Yeah,
the lyrics are brilliant.
I can't wait. I have so many friends in that, and he's brilliant. Andrew Lippa's music, I did the original reading of The Wild Party, his Wild Party.
Did you? Who'd you play?
I was Burrs.
Oh my God.
Take one step, go on and make one move.
Sing out.
Yeah. Brian Darcy James ended up doing it. It's incredible,
No, I think there's so many amazing. Scott Allen, do you know Scott Allen's music? Oh, Scott Allen. Scott Allen's really great. Peter Mills.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some amazing new composers out there that are coming up.
That's the thing. Getting new composers out there and giving them the opportunity to work, because It's so expensive to get things produced that you have to give them an opportunity to get seen.
Right. I'm a firm believer. Frank, when Frank was first starting, he did the concept albums, and he got Linda to sing on Star Search.
Yep.
I mean, that was the smartest thing that any composer could have done.
He's a very smart man when it comes to business.
No, I love Frank.
Yeah, me too.
Frank has mellowed over the years.
I love him.
Now, if you could have our audience know anything about you that you haven't been asked, that you haven't had a chance to say, what would you want?
Oh my gosh.
I like people that have their chance.
Yeah. I'm grateful for the audiences. I'm grateful for the support everybody's given me over the years. I'm so often asked what's the best part about doing your job, and it's the audiences. Because we would not be able to do what we're doing if they weren't here, and they weren't coming, and they weren't supporting us. And it's just incredible to... My college mentor once said to us, what audacity do you have to go on a stage and ask people to pay and sit to watch you for 2.5 hours? And it hit me that we have a responsibility, that we're there for them. The curtain call for me is thank you for sitting for this amount of time and letting us hopefully entertain you and maybe make you think about something in a different light. So for me, it's just thanks. It's just thanks.
Why did you get into theater?
I had always wanted to be many different things. I had very diverse interests in archaeology and architecture and oceanography, astronomy, and I realized that as an actor I could actually become each one of those things and learn about them even just for a short amount of time and then go on. So there was sort of a solace that I had, and I grew up, I had about 2 acres of woods in my backyard, and I used to go and play in my backyard and create these different worlds. So it was an escape initially, and it was the ability to become these people and forget about what was going on in the real world. And then it translated to, wow, this is kind of cool, learning about these different people and being able to share the journeys of these individual characters with the audiences and with other people.
The reason I asked the question is you talk about the audience, and when I was doing theater, the whole reason I wanted to do it is I loved the idea that I could be on that stage, and no matter what anybody was feeling, I could change that. I could, if they were sad and it was a comedy, I could bring them out of it. If they were somebody that was a little bit shut in and tight and it was a drama, I could maybe bring out a little bit more out of them. And I loved that idea.
Absolutely. It allowed, and I was that person. I was the person who would go to the theater or go to the movies. And it allows us to, for a short amount of time, forget if there are any things that are obstacles in our lives. And you know me, I'm a big about let's overcome obstacles. Don't even look at it. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep going. That it allows us to breathe and have those moments so that when we leave that theater, whether that's a movie theater or a concert or a Broadway show, you're thinking about life in a different way, and you realize that we are powerful beings, that we can achieve anything that we want to achieve. And my goal as an artist is to help make that happen.
It's time to revisit Phantom of the Opera, and now you know why. This has been Susanna Bowling with the Times Square Beat with James Barbour.